Cartoon Network was considered one of the best television channels of all time. I would say it's unique because they had a wide variety of cartoons and different forms of animation, surpassing even other television channels. They had very great classic cartoons and even original programming with many new shows at one point. Now the channel is just a rerun channel and they don't make any new shows anymore. And it's just sad because Warner Bros. Discovery doesn't care about Cartoon Network anymore and they don't want to greenlight any new shows, just sticking to revivals and even acquired programming. Let's start with the golden age of the channel. They played many classics from Hanna-Barbera, Warner Bros., and MGM such as Scooby-Doo, The Flintstones, Looney Tunes, and Tom and Jerry, as well as some anime on the Toonami block such as Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and Naruto, including cartoon theater with animated movies. There were even original shows such as Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, The Powerpuff Girls, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Codename Kids Next Door, The Grim Adventures of Billy Mandy, and Teen Titans to name a few. They even had good primetime blocks on Friday night, like Cartoon Network Fridays. This was until Boomerang Channel launched, and the old shows slowly moved to that channel, and Adult Swim launched, which was supposed to be a nighttime block airing adult cartoons, including reruns and other programming. Now Toonami is an Adult Swim block since it would be easier to air the more mature anime on there. Then Boomerang became a dumping ground for Cartoon Network originals, and they started to air less of the older shows on Cartoon Network. As Cartoon Network slowly rebranded and changed many times over the last 20 years, so did the programming. They tried putting live action shows on there at one point in 2009 with CN Real, which would air reality shows with no animated elements just to fill up the schedule, and it was the first time no new cartoons were made, which was because of the bad economy at that time. If you ask me, that is kind of lazy, especially for Cartoon Network standards, considering they could have still aired new episodes of the cartoons they were airing at the time and still continue to produce the shows they were working on. The live action shows would have been good, but they just didn't seem to fit for Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network did try to bring back live action programming in 2021, but ever since the Warner Bros. Discovery merger, that did not happen, thankfully. Shows such as Adventure Time, Regular Show, and The Amazing World of Gumball helped Cartoon Network revive itself, especially when they got rid of most of the live action shows. Sadly, this renaissance for Cartoon Network did not last long, as it only got worse after that once they changed management. Cartoon Network has changed a lot since the last time I did a rant on it back in 2020. Ever since 2016 or 2017, they have been lacking variety by airing the same few shows, mainly non-stop marathons of Teen Titans Go for several days when Adult Swim is not airing. With low ratings, instead of making Adult Swim a channel, they have been expanding Adult Swim and using it to air older Cartoon Network shows with Checkered Past. I understand the appeal of Checkered Past, and it sounds great, but they didn't need to expand Adult Swim to air 2 hours of old Cartoon Network shows because anyone can watch it, not just the adults that grew up with those shows. Some people think Cartoon Network wouldn't get any ratings if Checkered Past was part of Cartoon Network, but I disagree. Some people can get confused and think it's Cartoon Network that would air those shows, considering it's the same channel, and those are Cartoon Network shows, unless they check and see that it's Adult Swim instead. I'm happy they are airing reruns of past shows again. At least the preschool block is slowly disappearing from Cartoon Network. Cartoonito as a block has mostly ended, but they will sometimes air certain preschool shows for now, just like what they did with their previous preschool block. The problem is, whenever there are new shows that get pitched, Warner Bros. Just rejects shows if the creators consider pitching the show to other networks. Like Cartoon Network, do you guys want new cartoons or not? You guys keep moving some shows like My Adventures with Superman to Adult Swim, and this could be your one chance to have new shows. Not to mention, outside of Checkered Past and Boomerang, some shows aren't even airing on Cartoon Network. You guys shut down your website just to promote Max, but Cartoon Network shows are being removed from Max, which means there are fewer options to watch your shows. It's like Warner Bros. Discovery, what are you guys doing? You people are killing Cartoon Network, but not greenlighting new shows and not airing the old shows and removing many shows from Max. Since Craig of the Creek has ended, there is no more original content still running on Cartoon Network. This is sad because there are hardly any shows running now with new episodes, especially since the last few shows have already ended, and we're only getting just acquired programming that are not Cartoon Network originals or Warner Bros. Shows. This is bad for advertisers and viewers. Besides, not many people still talk about Teen Titans Go as much as years ago, and for some reason, there are still non-stop marathons of the show sometimes, especially to mark certain occasions. Creators were screwed over by having their shows either canceled or removed, so that people have no choice but to pirate the shows in order to watch them instead of paying to watch them legally. Like Cartoon Network, you should at least get people to watch your shows legally instead of resorting to piracy. These people work so hard to have those shows and their creations be seen by people, and these creators and animators are being left in the dark. With Cartoon Network Studios now being merged with Warner Bros. Animation, this would mean all Cartoon Network shows will be made at Warner Bros. Studios without Cartoon Network having their own studio. If Warner Bros. And Cartoon Network keeps this up and Adult Swim keeps being given more attention, there might be a possibility Cartoon Network will shut down in a few years, and I don't want that to happen, especially since the United States is the originating country of Cartoon Network. Maybe Hasbro can still work with Cartoon Network to have their shows and new acquired shows air on Cartoon Network, especially since Warner Bros. Discovery might soon take over their stake in Discovery Family soon. Cartoon Network could really use a makeover. They have been using the same logo with the CN abbreviation or acronym for 14 years, and they could change their logo either to what Cartoon Network Studios used to use or the 2010 version of the 1992 logo they used in bumpers back in the early 2010s. Now the website is gone. It's even harder to find their shows, and now everything else other than the games is gone, considering Max keeps removing Cartoon Network shows, which means Max is useless considering that's a streaming service they are promoting for Cartoon Network shows. This is very sad because Cartoon Network is one of the best channels on cable and is one of the many reasons I had cable. And now with the channel being taken over by Adult Swim and having low ratings due to streaming and Warner Bros. Not caring for streaming, the future is not looking good. Anyways, um, this is indeed sad news for Cartoon Network, and I'm hoping things do get better. But change in management could really help. But there has to be other ways to have Cartoon Network get better ratings, especially when it comes to promoting things on social media like YouTube and other things like that. But anyways, that's all for my video on my thoughts on Cartoon Network. Um, as of 2025, the current year and the current state of Cartoon Network. And yeah, Cartoon Network changed a lot since a few years ago, and things are just not changing for the better. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What do you think Cartoon Network should do? What do you think Cartoon Network could do for the future to help with advertisers, as well as rerunning certain shows, as well as for programming and other things? So yeah, let me know. Let's hope more physical media gets released, as well as physical media copies of past physical media releases, because that's probably going to be one of the only ways to watch the Cartoon Network shows again. Just watch them on DVD or Blu-ray, or maybe even watch them on YouTube if possible. Anyways, this has been Brick, and I'm out.